Hi, it's Brian here. I just had a question about Band that I thought I'd just do a video response for and then send out to everyone. The question was, where do I think Band's gonna go? When I'm gonna answer that, I have a couple of tools at my disposal. So support and resistance lines are generally the same distance, but you can see as price starts to accelerate, they start to widen. So you could guesstimate, where the next one is going to be. So, this may or may not be support or resistance exactly. It's probably a little bit further, but it's getting close. And so you can see that price now is starting to leave a series of wicks. The only thing is, this is not substantial. This is substantial. That's a short-term exit within that wick, and I'm going to try to be more mindful of these in terms of the nightly update. But that's a exit point. This is still strength to me. That's not a substantial wick, so I wouldn't be exiting here. Um, depending on your entry here, I'll just give you some options and then it's your choice. So, if you've got in at the buy recommendation, then you're up. You could put an exit below this bar here. Chances are you're going to get stopped out there. So, if you do that, be ready for it. Price could rocket away here. But if we go down to the hourly bar, that's very, this is very strong. I expect price to push up from here. So I think you're going to get another leg up. So, it could push straight out of here. It could come and cycle down. If you put your stop below that bar, it would be below here. So price comes and cycles down, gets to 50%, and then pushes up. This is the risk, right? Um, it just depends. It depends on how you want to play it. And again, trading's nuance, right? So let's say you put your stop here. So my high probability expectation is for price to make a second push up, and it's probably going to be a lengthy one too based on this. So high probability it pushes up, but this looks like strength. I think it's going to push up here more than cycling back down here. But if it cycles back down here and then pushes up and you get stopped out, how are you going to feel about that? A lot of this matters on how much risk you're willing to take, because the thing is, even though it's low probability, price could cycle back to you know to here. I don't think it's going to do that, but it can. And so you need to know, are you willing to watch it do that and go out? So me personally, based on this, I would just hold it here, because I my expectation is for it to push up. So if I'm holding it and I don't have a stop, and remember these are hourly bars, price can come inside here and then push out, and it doesn't affect me. But then if you do that, you have to be willing to deal with price cycling all the way back. Now again, that's low probability, but it's within the realms of probability. Um, so my I guess my short answer is I would hold it here. I think this is gonna push up, especially looking at that. That's a very strong push. And you usually see the first pair of wicks like that. Like I made this mistake with V chain. We got out here, it pushed up, and then started making more substantial wicks, and then eventually cycled down. But you could see on the short term, VeChain looked like this on that first set of wicks, like it was going to push up. So um, my expectation, high probability, is that price is going to push out of here, and I think it's going to push past this resistance level just based on this projection here. If it gets to the support, it starts to leave a big series of wicks. If I don't put anything out, just email me again. Um, but I think it's going to push past here. Looking very strong. We also have this here. So see that, if price pushes past resistance here and starts to leave a big series of wicks, then I would say, all right, get out. But short term, based on those hourly bars, this high, I don't think this high is going to hold. I think price is going to push out of here, is my short answer. So I wouldn't sell it here yet. And the only thing I find about putting stops in like that is the market has a really, I don't know, it's almost like a living, breathing thing, but it'll hit your stop and then it'll rocket out. Just, I don't know why, it just does that. Um, but yeah, it's very strong. The only sort of negative there that I see is that resistance is so close. Otherwise, I would just leave that. This, it usually, this is a thing when that strength is going to cycle back, it normally gives you pretty good warning, right? That's what I want to. We start seeing that, sure, get out within the wick. So if we see that, I'll give you an exit signal within the wick. The range will be, there to there, will be your, if a price goes into that, exit, and you can put the money in something else while it's doing this. But I don't see that here yet, and I just, again, always be mindful that this is high probability stuff. So if I'm wrong, if it does what I see is a low probability event and starts the cycle, where's your exit? You decide. If you see price come straight back to 404, where would you have sold? So maybe have that as your exit. But and again, your risk profile is a very personal thing, right? It's not something that I can decide for you. It's something that you have to decide for yourself. But for me personally, I would just let that. I don't hold ban, unfortunately, but I would just let that do its thing at the moment. Anyways, I hope that's helpful. Hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you in the next one.